developed a leak. They may live on yet. So what's the secret? If you want to see how
open air outdoors.
right now we're experiencing a January thaw. That's what we call it here. This is unseasonable temperatures, -5 degrees Celsius. And it's a perfect time for me to take this opportunity and do a little something I do every so many years. And that is clean up my pots and pans. If you're like me, you like cooking over a campfire. That's my preferred method of cooking when I'm out camping. And these pots and pans, they get covered in soot. And even worse, because I mostly camp in the boreal forest and I mostly burn softwood, which is full of resin, I also get creosote. That build up every once in a while, I like to remove it. I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that here today. And when I show it to you, you're going to think to yourself, really, that simple? The best way to doing this is outside with a garden hose. I'm going to lay out all my gear in the snow and I'm going to get started. Follow along. So what's the secret? There is no secret. Simply use Easy Off oven cleaner or whatever oven cleaner of your choice. I find Easy Off is the best one. But don't go away. There is some bonus footage coming up in the way of this particular coffee pot developed a leak this year. And I'm going to go in the shop and I'm going to fix it, so stick around. Let's go fix this pot and continue maintaining our gear. A lot of our pots and pans are actually will have a non-stick coating. And of course, I'm going to mention it. We probably all know this, but I'm going to mention it. If you have a non-stick and the coating is peeling off, discard it. Replace it, go buy something new, don't continue to use it. These Teflon coatings are made up of chemicals. If they're peeling away, you are ingesting that. If you're mixing it in your food and you're eating it. So have a good look at your pots and pans that have non-stick coating and check, make sure they're in good condition. The next one I'm going to cover, and that's aluminum that is hard anodized. Hard anodized coatings are much more durable than the non-stick Teflon coating. This is a good example. This bush pot is a hard anodized coating, and I'm looking inside and it's absolutely excellent condition. No chips, no nothing. It's very hardy as far as abrasion is concerned. I use sticks and I use plastic utensils, and I'll use my fork. I'll often eat right out of here. You know, I got my jamming my fork in there and I'm looking at it, and it's in perfect condition. Love hard anodized. It's very good. The next one you would want to look at for maintenance is perhaps these guys here. You know, like a coating, and that's because I keep it greased. This is a carbon steel frying pan. I love this thing, and what I'm looking at is, does it need to be re-seasoned? This is a good time. Maybe you want to re-season it. Part of my maintenance is I will be re-seasoning this. That's because stainless steel does not hold seasoning as well as cast iron or carbon steel. So I will do a bit of a seasoning on this guy. But I want to turn my attention back to this pot. This is an old pot. I bought this when I was in my 20s. I picked it up in a flea market. You can see there's a basket in the stem. It is a coffee percolator, is what it is. And I carried this with me everywhere for so many years. If this thing could talk, it would have great stories, I assure you. But I really loved it because I also used it as just as a bush pot. This is my favorite bush pot in recent years, but this was my bush pot / coffee pot for many years. And last year, I took it out and I used it. It started leaking. And now that it's all cleaned up, I'm going to find out where that leak is. I'm going to see if I can fix it. This pot's been around with me for so long, I just can't let it go. So, okay, I have a little bit of water. And let's give this a go. It seemed to have been leaking like right at the bottom, so I should only need a little drop of water. There we go. There's actually a spot on here. It almost looks like there was a repair done in the past, actually. You can actually clearly see the discolored spot. It's leaking from that spot. I have no idea what that is. I do not recall ever fixing this. I'm sure I know I didn't fix this thing. So I don't know what's going on there, what that spot is. So the good thing about this pot, because it's aluminum and it has zero coating, I'm actually able to make it a goal to repair it, if I can repair it. But if this was a pot that had any kind of coating, I wouldn't even be attempting any of this. This is an aluminum welding rod, and specifically for gas welding. This is good for what I'm doing today, a light material, and good for a home gamer, right? There's not a lot of expense involved, just a small set of torches. And what I have on the bench is a piece of aluminum flat bar, and I'm going to do a test run to try to determine at what temperatures that this will melt and flow. Well, as luck would have it, I ran out of oxygen. I have to go to the store. We will resume. All right, let's get the show on the road. Well, very disappointing. Very, very disappointing. The pot is so thin that my heat, even after readjusting my flame so that it wouldn't be as an intense heat, would still melt right through it. So that means only one thing. The pot surface has worn down, that it is absolutely paper thin. And can I repair it? I cannot repair it. Absolutely cannot do nothing with this pot. It has come to the end of its life. Maybe I'll be able to salvage some of the other parts and do something else with it, create a new bush pot. Perhaps, I don't know, but I have to say goodbye to this one. It may live on yet. There's my bush pot with the lid that it came with. My favorite bush pot of all time. There's the pot from the original coffee pot. It's a little wobbly, a little bit shaky, but I may be able to tweak that as there is a ridge here. Actually, let's do that right now. My stem, looks like I have to bend it a little bit. Right, and my basket. And then the lid. Then the other lid. Boy, I'm thinking it's gonna work. But you know what? There's only one way of finding out. And I've been waiting for the prime opportunity to dive into this bag of coffee. Let's put a stove on and let's give it a shot and see what's gonna happen if I brew up a batch of coffee in my bush pot. The espresso roast is a wrong grind for this type of coffee maker. You should be a coarse grind for a percolator. However, doesn't change the fact that is a total success that my now old retired coffee pot actually does live on. Next, if you want to see how to properly season a stainless steel skillet, click on the card that's on the screen right now, and I'll see you at that video. Thanks, everybody.